When I was younger, I remember my grandmother always telling me how anytime she would try and use the phone, she always had to make sure that no one else was on it because neighborhoods were always connected to one phone line and they all had to take turns using it. She also told me how each phone had a different ring pattern for each different home. Today I'm going to talk to you about how much phones have changed, the new creation of the video games, and how technology has changed our young adults' lives. The first telephone was patented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876, followed by the phone booth, the car phone, mobile phone, our handheld phones, and today's smartphones. It's amazing how much things can change in such a small period of time. I remember one of my grandmothers always having a briefcase-like bag in the floorboard of her car. This thing was huge and bulky, and at the time I thought it was so weird to have it. My older sister and I was talking also the other day on how when we were kids we loved going to our grandparents' house just to play with their rotary phone. And when my younger sister chimed in wondering what the rotary phone even was, it made me laugh, and it just made me realize how our society has really changed. Video games have recently become popular over the past few years also, and that's all people want to do now is sit inside and play games. I remember as a child sitting around the living room playing Mario in our Nintendo as a form of family time, whereas nowadays it seems like parents use video games to keep their kids occupied. Our society as a whole in raising our children has completely taken a 180. Our children are becoming more lazy, disrespectful, and obese, and as much as people want to blame it on technology, I believe this as parents is our responsibility to teach our children the value of life outside of the gadgets. The Palo Alto Medical Foundation website says that numerous studies show that video games, especially the ones with the violent content, make our teens more aggressive. It also says that exposure to violent media can elevate aggressive feelings and thoughts, especially on children. Technology has changed so much just in the past 20 years. Most things take hundreds of years to finally come into action with the world, but with all the new technology, our society has grown rapidly. With all of the social media, smartphones, and the computer-dominated education system, our children are being pushed to grow up far faster than we ever had to as adolescents. In my home as a child, we were told to go outside and play and don't come home until the street lights came on. There was no sitting in the house, playing video games, or being stuck on Facebook or Twitter. The only technology we had in school was a desktop computer and type in class. If you had your phone or any other gadget out, it was getting taken and you were getting written up. Kids these days have no respect for one another or their parents. It was said on Conan O'Brien's late night show by Louis C.K. that kids are mean and don't build empathy. And what he's saying is sending a text message through social media or Twitter or any of those things, they don't get to see the harm they're doing on the other person's face, enabling them to continue without learning from that experience. Coy Cheshire, a Berkeley professor, stated, "I think it is reasonable to be concerned about unintentionally training ourselves to communicate in ways that do not punish disrespect." The phones, video games, and technology have molded this world into a totally different place from which we have grown up. In this speech, I've informed you about how much the technology has changed over the years and how much the phones and video games have evolved. It is clear technology is always going to improve and that there will always be new things invented on the one right after the other. That's just the way the world works. As much as I can agree that some aspects of new technology is greater for our kids and the development of their education, I hope that I can persuade you to monitor it and slim down their use before our children turn into obese hermits. Thank you.